Welcome to the show. This is episode 41. My name is Sarah Stevens. You can also find me as Sarah Stevens on Ravelry and Sarah Stevens 11 on Twitter, Periscope. I think that's it, right? Instagram. There you go.
I'm Lydia. You can find me as Lydia B on Ravelry, and you can find me as Lydia Knits on Periscope and Instagram.
This is a knitting and fiber related podcast, chronicling our fiber filled lives. That sounds funny. We decided to do things a little differently for this podcast and from here on out. So if you guys are new viewers, this won't be a shock to you. And thank you for coming to find us. And if you're returning viewers, this is going to be completely different for you. And thank you for coming as well to hang out with us. So the first segment is our handmade wardrobe.
Yeah.
We thought it would be kind of fun to start wearing some of our knitted items that we make all of the time. Look at this, we totally match. You're wearing...
It looks like black. It's actually blue. We're both wearing navy,
but
it looks
navy.
black.
That's funny. I just noticed that. We thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys a little bit about what we work on and everything. So, I today am wearing my dragonfly wings. It's really pretty and big and really long. Mm-hmm. It's by Boo Knits. This was a really fun, fast knit, actually. I knit this out of Ohloops 2-ply high twist, I believe. Maybe the 80-20, but I think it's the 2-ply high twist in the Dobby colorway. I think I knit this last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we a bunch of us did for the Harry Potter knit along. It was like a mini knit along within the knit along.
Yeah.
Because I made one too.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wear this all the time. I really like it. So.
Did you knit exactly like the pattern called for?
Exactly like the pattern called for. Nice. I even stayed at the correct needle size. Which never ever happens for me.
Me either, usually.
So it was really fun. It was really fast. I think it took just about the entire 400 yards though. For mine.
Cool. I'm wearing the Selah cowl by Bristol Ivy, and I knit this in the Cole Porter colorway from Ohloops on our Platinum. I love this cowl. I don't wear it as much as I should because I really do love it. And I did everything except for, now that it's done, it's one of those, like, I wish I would have. You're supposed to put an I-cord bind off around the whole outside, and I just didn't want to do it. So I didn't, and now I kind of wish I would have. It's one of those, like, nah, I should have, but I didn't, so.
I remember that.
Yeah, but I do love it, and it's very squishy and soft, and it creates this beautiful stitch on it. It's hard here. Take it off so you guys can see it. It's hard to see when it's on because of how you knit it. But it's really cool. I like how it knits up. So,
is that a paid for pattern?
You know, I honestly do not remember. I don't think so. I want to say no, but I don't honestly remember.
It has a unique way of knitting it, so that's why I was going to say something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't remember. I think it's free. I think it's free, but I don't remember. So we won't tell you. If you want to know, go check it out. It's a really good pattern. It was fast. So.
Okay, so the next segment that we had is the knit life.
Yes.
This is kind of where we wanted to talk about our current works in progress and our FOs, our finished objects that we just got done knitting on. I currently don't have any finished objects.
I have 2 since we saw you guys last, but I only have one of them to show you. I finished my niece's hat that I was knitting on in the last podcast, the little black and pink Haunt of Owls. And I did give them to my sister-in-law, that one and the other one for my niece and nephew over Thanksgiving. But I did finish another one in the infant size for the little baby-eyed nanny for. So this is Owen's. And I decided not to put ear flaps on his because when I put it on his head, it's still pretty big. So I figure as his head grows, I could go back and add ear flaps later. So,
Cute.
but it looks very cute on him, and they will get it for Christmas. So that's his. I finished that. And that is the Haunt of Owls pattern by Sarah.
Yes.
And it has, 5 different sizes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've done now the toddler size, the infant size, and the child size. And I've done everything just like the pattern says, other than, like I said, I didn't add the ear flaps to this one, and with Olivia's I put a pom-pom on it instead of the ear flaps. I did go up a needle size. I did do that. Because you have it on 10s, right?
7 and 9.
9s, yeah, and I did mine on 10s. So, and that's the Errol colorway from Ohloops as well.
I like.
That's it. That's all my finished
Not
ones.
just that one.
Me too.
I don't have any finished ones. So the first one I'm going to show you, I haven't gotten very far compared to the last time that we podcasted. I'm housing this project in my Suburban Stitcher Christmas kit bag. And it's super cute. It's by Diane from the Suburban Stitcher podcast. And I love this bag. It's one of I think I now will have 3 or 4 Christmas bags, but it's in this one. And I am busy knitting on another hat. And once again, this colorway looks so rainbow, but it looks better than it did last time. So rainbow. I like it.
I like it too.
So this is on DK weight. This actually was in one of our kits, in the True Love kit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't remember what we called it.
It's called On the Vine.
On the Vine. I never remember that. I always think the purple one is the On the Vine.
Well, they were both kind of, so the purple was the Concord,
Right.
and the blue was something like blue starfruit or blue something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. When I dyed them, they made me think of harvest type things. So that's why they're called On the Vine.
I love it. I love the way that it's swirling up. It's kind of fun. I actually almost should save this for the Suburban Stitchers Rainbow Along that happens, I think it's in February. But I'm knitting this on my Hiya Sharps US size 3, 3.25 millimeter, 16-inch fixed circular needles. These are kind of my go-to needles. And actually, for most of the brims of my hats, I use this needle for the brim, and then I go up to my 5s even when I'm knitting worsted. But, so I'm just busy working on that right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
My first work in progress is in my cute little birdie, I think it's called Bird Whimsy or Whimsical Bird or something like that from Freckled Whimsy. And I absolutely love this bag. This is one of her wedge bags. And the inside has this awesome fabric that matches the outside. I showed this a long time ago, and I sadly haven't gotten very far. But this is the Lenny sweater pattern by Heidi Atwood Reeves. And I'm making the size 10-11 year for my daughter Emma. And so far I have most of the neck portion done. And then it buttons closed and goes down from there. And I am doing this with Madeline Tosh Vintage in the Esoteric colorway, which is that beautiful teal.
It's actually pretty true.
Yeah,
the color on camera.
Close, yeah. And I am using, they're called Jin-Q circular knitting needles. And Sarah and I got these, where did we get these?
I think we actually ordered them on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon or
Or
eBay or
something
something
like
like
that.
that. But they're called Jin-Q. And I'm using, so you use size 8 for the collar and then size 9 for the body. And I am doing that because I do get the same gauge that the pattern says you should. So, so I have about 6 more rows of the collar before I can join in the round and knit the body. So I am not very far, but I have gotten past the cast on, which is where I think I was last time you guys saw it. So she will not be getting it for her birthday or for Christmas, but hopefully this winter sometime. So
Or at least by
kind of my
next
goal.
year.
Yeah.
Maybe by next winter.
Yes, hopefully. Hopefully soon.
Okay, I'm also housing my next project in one of my Freckled Whimsy bags. This one's the Sock Nanny size, and it has the alpacas. I love it. It is housing my Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fettig. Golly, Liz. I've dropped all of my yarn. Just throwing things. Throwing things now. And I'm in the middle of a row. So, unfortunately, since the very last time that we podcasted, I've only gotten a couple more rows done. So, I am still not ready to split for my sleeves. I think I now have 6 more rows left before I can split for my sleeves. But I'm getting there. I'm knitting this on 3 Irish Girls Adorn in the Little Black Rain Cloud colorway. On my Hiya Sharps, these are my interchangeables, my US size 2, 2.75 millimeter. And I think I have the 32-inch cable on here.
It looks about 32, yeah.
So I am thoroughly enjoying my project. I've been working with a group of ladies for a class, and we've been going through this sweater and talking about gauge and how you can manipulate patterns based on your own gauge and the own type of weight of yarn that you're using, and that you don't always have to follow them exactly. So, and besides doing that, just plugging in the math and changing the numbers a little bit, you kind of make a more custom fit sweater. So I'm really ready to split for my sleeves. I think it'll go by much faster as soon as I get a chance to split for my sleeves.
Yeah.
But
see, that's always the thing that intimidates me because I'm not a math person, and so I think when you do decide to knit a pattern with a different, especially a garment that you're going to wear with a different size yarn than what the pattern calls for, doing the math can be intimidating sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's good that you're doing that you're showing them how to do that.
it's been a lot of fun, and all of my ladies, except for me, I'm kind of the slacker, they all got to the point where they could split for the sleeves, and so we talked about now arm measurements and how many stitches that they needed to cast on for the underarm piece based on their own specific gauge, which was different. So we got to measure their arms and make sure that that was all there, and you know, how many stitches do you need to cast on extra and how many do you need to have less. We actually had one that was supposed to have less. So that's really been fun, and they got so much joy out of trying it on. Like we finally got 2 rows after splitting for the sleeves, and they all got to try on their sweater, and for most all of them it's their very first sweater. So, you know, when it looks like this, it doesn't look like anything. You can't visualize an actual sweater.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
fun.
so when they tried
Cool.
them on, it was they were like, oh, it really is a sweater.
And it fits.
And it fits! Yeah.
That's
so
always good.
It was so much fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, so.
Well, by the next time you'll probably be at your sleeves, so.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Very cool. My next project is in my Suburban Stitcher Christmas bag that looks almost identical to Sarah, but mine has the blue instead of the pink. And I love this bag. It's very whimsical Christmas, in my opinion, which I think is fun. And in here I am participating in the knit along that Daniela and Allie are doing in the Caffeinated Knitting podcast. And it's called the Holly, what is the name of the knit along?
Holly Jolly Y'all Cow.
Yeah, Holly Jolly Y'all Cow. And so we're all knitting the Cowl Me Cowl by Allie Coffee. And I had actually posted a bunch of pictures in the Ravelry group of yarn that I was considering for this pattern. But then I got to thinking about it, and I was looking at all of my cowls and shawls and stuff today, and I realized that I don't really have anything that's just neutral. And so I was like, okay, what could I knit that's still Christmassy or holiday, so it kind of still fits in with the whole theme? Because they said you can do either Christmassy or something that just makes you happy, but I still wanted to do Christmassy. And then I remembered that I have a skein of yarn left over from when I knit my, the tubular, what is the name of that?
What is the name of that?
It's tubular something. Tubularity? Is that what it is?
Tubularity.
Yeah. When I knit that, last year I think it was, or the year before, Sarah and I dyed a bunch of winter colorways, and one of them was called Christmas Birch Trees. And it's very neutrally, very white. So I have almost an entire skein of it left, which is this. So it's like this beautiful toffee color and white and silver. And so I got cast onto this. And I'm only through the first 3 sections.
But I love it.
But I really like the way it's knitting up. And it is going to be very neutral and something that I would probably wear more than if I had done the brighter Christmassy colors that I was thinking. So,
I like it.
So I'm excited. So that's that. So, and I am using, because I didn't have any needles left, I am using my size 6. Are these the Knitter's Pride?
No, those are Knit Picks
That's
Harmony.
right.
Needles.
Knit Picks Harmony. I can never remember. So these are the Knit Picks Harmony, and I'm using a 24-inch cable. And these are the size 6, and these are the very first needles I ever got, you guys. Sarah had these, and I thought they were really pretty, and then the first year I was a knitter, my mom bought me the set for Christmas. So I will always keep them because they were a gift from my mom. And they are beautiful. Bamboo, hand-painted, you know, the swirly. So they are very pretty. I just don't use them as much anymore because for me, I notice that my yarn sticks a little bit more on the bamboos than it does on my Hias. So I don't use them as much. But I'm enjoying this knit. It's a lot of fun so far. I got cast onto it last night. Yeah, last night, and did all of that in just a matter of probably about 20 minutes or a half an hour.
Very nice.
So it's going very quickly. So that I like. So
I also let them know that I was going to do that cowl with them. But I first picked out to do our Christmas past colorway. And then I was like, gosh, you know, I don't want to do that. I really want to make socks out of that. So I decided I wanted to do a glittery yarn. And I found Vanessa's old sweater from the Harry Potter knit along out of the Voldemort and the Severus Snape colorway. And I ripped it all out. I ripped all of it out. I ripped all of it out.
That's probably not going to fit her anymore anyway, huh?
No, it didn't fit her anymore. It fit Caitlin, but Caitlin, it's not her colors.
Yeah.
So I ripped it out, and I decided I was going to do those 2 colors.
Well, fun.
And have the lace be in one color, and then the rest of it be in the other color. I just don't know which one.
Nice. Yeah. That'll be pretty.
I know, it'll be different.
You can use it for the December project too.
Because it's 2.
I know. Nice. Look at you.
I was kind of thinking.
Being all smart.
Every once in a while it happens.
I like it.
So, but that's all of my knit life
Oh, really? I have 2 more.
as of right now. Oh, I guess I have one more. I have one more.
Okay.
You have 2 more?
I have 2 more that fit into this one and then one for another.
Holy croly. You go first because I
Okay.
only have one more.
So in my, probably one of my favorite Christmas bags, this is my Christmas Owls bag from my cousin Jackie. Her shop is Lip Syncing Ladybug. I have the Something Beautiful shrug that I am making for the little girl that I nanny for. So this is for Avery for Christmas. And I am to the breaking for my sleeves. I just hadn't done that yet because I wanted to show it to you guys before I did that because I think it's easier to see this way. So I have all of that done at the front. And that's the back. Yeah, and this is the, so like I said, it's the Something Beautiful shrug. And it is by, hold on, sorry, I wrote it down so I could tell you. Nicole Ratcliffe, and I am making the 2-3 size because Avery just turned 2, and so I wanted it to be able to fit her for a while. So I decided not to do the 24-month size. So I'm going to do the 2-3. And this is our Spring Sproutling colorway that Sarah dyed on the worsted base that came out in one of her hat kits. And I'm really loving it. It's very subtle. It has the little pops of pink, but I think it will fit really well into Avery's wardrobe.
I think so too. She's not overly pink.
No, she's not overly pink, but just the right amount of softness I think will be good. And she wears jeans a lot. They put her in jeans a lot, which are totally cute on her. So I think it'll be good with all of the stuff that she wears. And I'm using my Hiya Sharps, and these are my US size 6, 4mm, and I have them on my 24-inch cable, I think. Yeah. So once you break for the sleeves, there's not a whole lot left because it's a little shorty. So, and this is actually my second one of these that I've made for Avery because I made one for her when she was a baby too that was purple. And her mommy really liked it. So I'm almost done with Christmas present number 2 for them. I still have one kiddo to do a present for. I'm not 100% sure what he's getting yet. Probably a vest, but I don't know.
I'm still in denial of the Christmas present world. Even though there are 21 days left until Christmas. At this very second.
See, and I'm kind of a bad person because this year, truthfully, I think the only Christmas presents I'm getting are the 3 for the little kids I nanny for. I'm probably not doing any for my kids. And I know that makes me such a bad mom, but
It doesn't make you a bad mom.
I just don't have time. And not only that, but the thing I want to make for Emma is the sweater that I'm working on. I won't get it done. I know that. I could get Jillian's done. I'm working on her hat. So if I get hers done, then I might give it to her. But then it's like I gave one hand knit item and not the other 2. So I don't know. And my husband's socks are also not going to be done, so he won't be getting those for Christmas.
This summer.
Yeah. There you go. We'll do Christmas in July.
Right.
That'll be easier.
Okay. My next and final work in progress is in my massive blanket bag from Stephanie of Stitch Marks the Spot. But here we go. I love it. Perfect little tag. It's Fruit Loops with the toucan. Lydia and her collaborated in this bag, and it has polka dots and turquoise. Love it. So I brought out this project out from hibernation because I found that I really don't knit on this in the summer nearly as much as I do in the winter. I don't even knit on it in the fall nearly as much as I do in the winter or in the spring. So I brought this guy back out again, and it is my cozy memory blanket. The pattern is slightly different than any of the patterns that you'll find because we doubled the stitch count for our squares. So I'm also in the middle of a square right now, so my needles are dangling.
Look how crazy that square is. I love it.
So this is it, and it's just a mess because, one, I haven't woven any ends. two, all of them are going every direction. First I started out making a complete square or rectangle, and then I decided, no, I'm going to make it, cast on a bunch of different ones and make it long, and then just pick up as I go and build in a different manner. And now I'm tired of doing that, so I'm going back to the square and I'm filling in all the spots. So, I do not know what size needle I am knitting on. I believe this is a US size 0. These are also from that other brand.
The Jinko.
The Jinko. They have a slight bend at the end of the needle, and they're nice and super pointy. They have a cable that's similar to the Chow-Goo. It's just not red. So it's a very similar cable. It's very thick. But, and I do my squares, my mini skeins a little bit different. At first I started out knitting just each square as a mini skein, but then I wanted to use all of the bits of my mini skeins up in this blanket, and I'm mildly lazy when it comes to this blanket too. So I created a magic cake skein for a shawl that we were going to do forever ago. And I have been knitting off of this. And the coolest part is that it gives some of the craziest little squares. I am now on my 3rd color on this square that I'm working on right now. This one has 2 colors.
One always cracks me up.
Cracks me up. It's so funny. This one's really fun. It has 2 on there. These guys have 2. I love how they are turning out. This one's very funny. It's very like Halloween to me.
It almost looks like a pumpkin.
It does. It's got the green, and there's like 3 different colorways on that one. But I am enjoying the fact that I'm not constantly, this one's funny because it has just the one stripe of pink. I'm not constantly changing a mini skein all of the time. So that's kind of nice. Like, I don't have to worry about one mini skein ever being too short, or what to do when I have 2 grams left over of another one. So I still have the same amount of ends to weave in as everybody else. I can't get away from that, but I'm making some progress. And in the last week, I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was a 7th one. Where did it go?
Is it the one you're working on?
7. So, yeah. I am hoping to have quite a bit more done on this guy, and maybe it'll be a perfect square soon. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Nice.
And it makes it so much fun that it's in my big bag.
I'm eager to pick mine back up. It's on my list of things I want to do in the new year.
Yeah. I don't like weaving in the ends. Surprise, surprise. But,
see, and I had been doing that when I was knitting mine, so I would do an entire row, and then I would knit all of those ends in, and then I sadly gave up on that, so now I have several.
a million ends.
Yeah.
A million bajillion. Yeah. I never did that. So, I have a million bajillion from the beginning. So, that's my
But
goal.
we all know how much you love knitting in ends.
I was wearing my socks around the house today earlier, and they don't have their ends with me.
That's funny.
So,
Okay, so my last work in progress is in my beautiful Christmas bag from Molly of A Homespun House, and this is when she had her old label. And you guys are gonna laugh, I've never taken the little Homespun House tag off that she gave me because I always just thought it was so cute. So it still has my little jingle bell and the coffee cup and her little paper tag because I thought it was cute. And I love this bag. For whatever reason, it totally makes me think of A White Christmas, which is probably my absolute favorite Christmas movie. And it just made me, it's like very old-fashioned Christmas, which I always thought was really pretty. And it's just red on the inside. But on the last episode, I asked you guys what I should do for my December Harry Potter project. And most of you, I think actually all of you who responded,
I think
everyone who responded said I should do the duotone with the mint and raspberry, so I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the duotone cowl by Orange Flower Knits, and I am doing it on Ohloops Donegal DK. And I apologize, guys, I was going to look. So the green color is the Mandrakes semi-solid, and I believe that the purpley color is Headmaster.
Yeah, because I don't think it was the Polyjuice Potion.
No, maybe it's... No, it's not. It's Flourish and Blots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right? I believe. I think. I have to look. I apologize. I do know that green is Mandrakes. So I am on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on my 6th repeat. And I am loving it.
It looks awesome together.
Yeah. So I originally started, when you read the pattern, and it is a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. When you read the pattern, she recommends that you use a needle size 2 sizes or larger than what you would normally do for DK. So I started mine on a 9, thinking I would like it because she wants it to drape. It was way too loose. I didn't like it at all. So I went back down, and I am now knitting this on my Higher Sharps with my US size 8, and I'm knitting it with, this is my 24-inch cable. My other one was my 32. Anyway, and I'm liking that much better. So, but because I am lazy when it comes to ripping things out and don't like doing that, I did not rip out the bottom 2 rows. So I will do that when I get to Kitchenering the end of it. I will just take them out then. Because I didn't want to go back, because you have to, you provisionally cast on and you have to pick, and I was just like, I don't want to go back and redo that. I just didn't feel like it. So at the end, you're supposed to knit 2 rows, I think, of the wider section, because then these 2 rows become that last part of the band. So I'm just going to knit all 4 and just rip out to the purple. Well, actually I'm going to knit 3 and rip 1 row out. So 1 row will be slightly wider, which isn't really going to matter that much because you're not going to notice. So,
no.
But yeah, but I am really, really loving it.
I like how nice the colors pop
Mm-hmm.
on the camera.
Yeah, and this is very true to color. Mm-hmm. And it's very subtle. I liked these 2 colors together a lot because for whatever reason, when I dyed the Mandrakes colorway, it pulled a lot of that same purpley in certain sections. And so there are pieces like right there where you can see the little pop of the burgundy that comes through, and I just think that's really pretty. And because it's on the Donegal, it is so squishy.
It's so soft. I love our Donegal.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear it. So I'm really enjoying it.
Now, and the Donegal contains the NEP,
Mm-hmm.
and so it picks up the
tweed.
fiber a little, or it picks up the color a little bit differently. Like some of those pieces don't
Yeah.
pick up the fiber.
Like the black ones, yeah, the black ones stay black, and then the white ones, if they pick up the color, they generally turn kind of a brown color,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't really pick it up.
And it's very pale.
Yeah, but I'm loving it. So I'm excited to get it done so that I can wear it, and I did this all in one afternoon, so it's not taking very long.
No, it's a very fast knit. I just got
sidetracked with other things.
Yeah,
well, but you didn't care for your color combo.
No, I loved my color combo. I just didn't. I have an issue with knitting in the round in stockinette for so long. It drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
I just couldn't take it anymore. But I loved it. Like, I wish I had the final product.
Yeah, it'd be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I am not, and it's just me, I'm probably just not doing it the best. I don't know. I'm noticing that when you go to switch the colors, because so you go from 2 rows to 4 rows and then back to 2, my yarn is slightly tighter right there on that edge.
Are you carrying it up?
I am, but it still seems like it's pulling because, I mean, it's still 4 rows away from the last one. So I am carrying it, but it still seems like it's snugger, which when you block, that will help, but that's the only thing I'm not 100% liking about how mine's knitting up. But other than that, I'm loving it, so.
Very nice.
Like I said, I would assume that with blocking, that'll help.
Okay, that is everything for Knit Life, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to my favorite part. We created some hashtags. I thought it would be a lot of fun. There's always on Instagram, there's always a hashtag for Operation Sock Drawer, or Operation Sock Drawer 2015 has been going on this year. And I want my own personal goal. I want to knit 100 socks, 100 pairs of socks for my sock drawer. So I created a hashtag, and it's Operation Sock Drawer 100. And I'm on pair, I think, 9 now, which is kind of fun. 9 completed pairs. So I thought I would show you what I'm working on for my Operation Sock Drawer 100 right now. So currently, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have kind of already seen these a little bit. But I am using Knitterly Things yarn, the Vesper sock yarn. It's 100% superwash merino. There's 428 yards. It's self-striping in the Kiss Me Deadly colorway. And you can find this yarn at knitterlythings.com. So, I have one tube. I knit in a lifeline. I don't know if you can kind of see where it is. It's right here. I knit this guy in, and so I'm going to be doing Afterthought heels. And because I am terrified of cutting my tubes, I have not done that yet, ever. I always knit in a lifeline and then take it out and add my heel. But I know Diane from the Suburban Stitcher, she always cuts her heels in, and I'm terrified to do so yet.
I don't think I can do it either, so. I haven't even done an afterthought heel, because just putting in the lifeline and knowing that you're going to go back and rip that out terrifies me a little bit, so I haven't done that either, so.
That part doesn't scare me. Like, that one's fun. But
I'm sure once I've done it, it'll be fine, but I just haven't. I will probably do it when I knit my socks from Mustache.
yeah,
So.
it's on my bucket list. So I have one tube done, and I'm almost done with the second tube. I've already got my lifeline on here. I am super excited about these because they almost completely match up. And as you can see, I've only got a little bit longer to go. Only one more repeat. And it is a, it's a 6-row repeat, or 6-stripe repeat. And each stripe is about 4 rows, 4 rounds. And I did a 30-row cuff, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I did a 25-row cuff. 25 rows. So this is my number 1 on Operation Sock Drawer. And I'm going to be doing my heel in this gray.
Fun.
I think that'll look fun. Yeah.
I like that. I like it a lot.
I do too. And this is a high twist yarn as well. It's our high twist. It's our 2-ply high twist. No, it's our 80/20, but it's also a high twist yarn. And I'm knitting these guys out of my Hiya Sharps US Zeros fixed 24-inch circular needle, 32-inch circular needle, I think. It is the 32-inch. And I prefer to knit mine out of the 24-inch, but I didn't have that one. I don't like when the cable gets really, really long, and this one has a really long cable. So, I'm loving them.
Yes.
Do you have
I like
socks?
them too. No.
Okay, I'll go quickly. I have 2 more pairs of socks on the needles, because one can never have too many pairs of socks.
I shouldn't say I don't have socks. I do have socks, but I haven't really gotten any further on them than the last time you guys saw them, so I am not showing them.
Okay. So I'm going to cover this piece up right here. But the last time I showed these guys on Instagram, I was just starting to increase for my heel, and I am through the heel now and working on the leg, and this is a new design that will be coming out soonly. I decided I'm going to call it Carousel. I love them too. I'm knitting these guys on my Addy Turbos 24-inch circulars, and if you guys can see the difference, see the cable on this guy, it's way shorter. I threw the other one down. Way shorter than the other one. Mm-hmm. It's much more manageable for me.
Yeah, it's not as fiddly.
I don't like when they're too long. This is on Adorn sock yarn from 3 Irish Girls in the Guinness colorway, and I love it. It's this beautiful golden tones, and it's very tonal, actually. If you can see all of the beautiful, there's just so much depth.
Almost like a honey color.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
It's very pretty.
It's gorgeous. They do such a fantastic job. So I'm really kind of hoping that these guys will be done by December. That's my plan. Well, they will be done by December.
By the end of December.
Yep. Yeah, by the end of December.
Got it.
So I'm loving those. And my last pair of socks, I have not picked up in a really long time. So I'm still increasing for the heel on these guys. This is out of one of our double knit sock blanks. And the last time, I'm sure where I showed you all the last time. I have knit through all of the green on the foot, which cracks me up. I am now starting to increase for the heel, and you can see that I'm changing into the more grassy green color.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
I'm knitting these guys on my Knit Picks, US size zeros, 24-inch cables, fixed circular needles, and I have this cute little progress keeper.
It almost matches perfectly.
Which is totally why I picked it. Oh, I love it, the P one, and I don't know if you can see, so I'm going to get all the way through this green color, and I truly don't think I'm going to get very much of the darker color, but maybe the ribbing, maybe the cuff. I don't believe that I'm going to use this whole little cake. But
Fun.
That one is sock number 3, so I'm really kind of hoping to get through these guys. I wanted to have these done if you guys were following me, and I wanted to have these done for my first project for our Harry Potter knit along, but sadly there were too many things going on, so I did not get to them. So it's still just a portion of a sock.
Yes.
So, but that is all of my Operation Sock Drawer 100 projects at the moment.
Yay!
So I would love to see anybody else who wants to join in on this 100 pairs of socks.
I'm gonna do it. I probably will take me more than a year to do it.
There's no time frame.
Well, good.
There's no time frame. I just want to be able to see if I can make it to 100 pairs of socks.
Yeah, you totally can.
I just think that would be so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so the next one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Next segment is a new fun one that we totally came up with. Lydia had this great idea.
I decided, I've been a knitter now for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. 5.5 maybe. And there's all these projects that I've wanted to knit that I just haven't for one reason or another. And so I was looking through all of my favorited ones and my ones that are in my queue, and I decided that, 2016 is going to be my year. It's going to be my knitting bucket list year. So Sarah and I decided that we were going to come up with another hashtag, which is just knitting bucket list 2016. And so anytime you're working on an item that's been on your knitting bucket list, tag it that way. And so we decided to come up with 12. I actually have 13, so I'm going to probably have to either get 2 done in a month or get rid of one. Because I figure, if I can try to get 1 done a month, which probably won't happen because some of them are sweaters, but I wanted to challenge myself to try to get 12. So we made a list of what they are. So do you want to read all of them at the same time or one and one?
I don't care. However you want to do it. I made a list too. I gotta find my list. How about you just read your list?
Okay. So my first one is the Robin Hood hat by Grace Akram. Yeah, Akram. I have wanted to knit this hat forever, and Sarah actually has knit this hat, and I love hers. So I'm going to make it. It's on my to-do list, and it'll probably be one of my first because I would really like to wear it. The second on my list is also a hat, and I believe Sarah's made this one as well, the Lucy hat, by Karina Spencer. I have almost cast onto this hat numerous times, but I didn't have the right yarn that I liked together. I technically don't know that I still have the right yarn that I want for it, but I'm going to make this hat. I love it. I love the way Sarah's looks on her, so I think it's a really cute hat. I'm going to make it. Third is a shawl that Sarah has also made. Apparently I just want to knit all of the things that Sarah has. It's the Lazy Girl shawl by Megan Peters, and Sarah knit that for a Camp Loopy project
forever ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, and I love it. At the time I was a new knitter, and it was extremely intimidating to me. Watching her and a friend of ours knit, I was like, there's no way I can do that. Because you have to do short rows, right?
It's just, yeah, without giving anything away, I mean, there's some really fun slip stitches.
Yeah, but I was terrified.
Short rows.
I was terrified of that pattern.
It has a cute ruffle, and it's 2 different colors.
Mm-hmm. So you see all things that new knitters, like 2 colors, short rows. And I was like, I don't do that.
I knit that out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I love that too. I almost wore that too.
And if I wear shawls, I like them to be long, kind of like the one Sarah's wearing, and the Laser Girl does that. So, it's long and has lots of wrappies. So, I will be making that. Next is the Color Me In by Woolwork Simone Eich. I'm excited by this pattern. I've seen lots of different people knit it up. There are numerous different sections to it, and the one at the top of the pattern page, like each section is a different color, so that I think is really cool. Again, it's another really long shawl, which, like I just said, I like. So I am kind of nervous-ish about this one, because I think it's a charted pattern. Not that I don't like charted patterns, but I prefer written patterns. So, next is the Campside shawl by Alicia Plummer, and I have seen so many people knit this. There have been numerous pictures on Instagram. I need to make it. Too. I love the texture that's on the body of it. I need to make it.
That almost made it on my list.
Did it? And see, I think I need mine. I have the shirt that I wore on last week's podcast has all these different colored flowers on it, and one of the colors is kind of this really pretty mauve color, and I have a semi-solid that's that color, so I think it might end up being that color.
Nice.
Yeah, because then I could wear it with my shirt.
Cute.
And I would like that. Next is one that, if I have to take one off my list, might be this one, because this is my new intimidating thing, but it is beautiful. I love it. It is called the Leftovers Cowl by Wendy B. Johnson. The entire thing, though, has color work the whole way. So it looks very Icelandic, but it's all these, you just use all of your random stuff, which I have lots of. But it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
But there's color work the entire time. And it's this huge, big cowl. It needs me to make it. But it'll probably be one of those ones I'll be calling Sarah in tears, because I will be a mess with all of my stuff. So
it'll be fine.
So that's on my list. The next one's on my list is, again, a cowl. Surprise, surprise. It's The Foolproof by Louise Zass Bingham. Amy Beth, Fat Squirrel, she just finished hers, and I love it. She made it out of hand spun. But I love, again, how big and drapey it is.
Hers turned out gorgeous.
Hers is beautiful. Somebody else just made one recently that I saw on Instagram, and they used, what did they use? I think it was hand spun as well, but it was like a gradient. So it was this whole color transition thing all the way around. Oh, it was so pretty. It was beautiful. So, and then the next ones on my list are all sweaters that I've had on my favorites forever. So I want to make the Olive by Helga Eisgar. It's this really cute, like, scooped neck, short, cappy sleeve sweater. I love it.
I like that one too.
So I wanted to make that. The Watson, which I was actually gifted a couple months ago by a friend on Ravelry. And that's designed by Amy Miller. And it's a cardigan that has, I think the patterning is just on the collar and maybe a section in the back. Yeah, so there's like a beautiful lacy design at the top of the neck and then on the big wide collar that goes around. And I really like that. And then I want to make the Dragon's Lark sweater, which is a pullover that has this big, huge, beautiful, like 1960s inspired collar with these big, huge buttons.
I've seen that. I like that.
Yeah, the girl wearing it reminds me of the actress from Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
But so that, yeah, it's called the Dragon's Lark, and it's by, me too, Myra Kirk. So I want to make that. And then I want to make the poolside pullover by Isabel Kramer. I love that. I've seen a couple people make that one, and it's beautiful. And then last of the sweaters is one that I have looked at since becoming a knitter, and always been kind of intimidated by, mostly because it's got pockets and buttons and a big collar and texture on the whole thing, but it's the Chocolate Stout by Thea Coleman, and I think it's beautiful. It's this, in the picture, it's this beautiful dark chocolate brown color, and it would be perfect with the Neighborhood Fiber Company skein.
Yeah, it would.
So if I can find more of that, I might do it out of that. And then last but not least is the Simple Straight Skirt by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees, and it's just this cute little, like, above the knee skirt. And I think a knitted skirt would be really cute. So, those are my bucket list items. So we will see how many of them I get to. I will be hashtagging them as I'm working on them and as I finish them. So if you guys want to join our bucket list and knit 12 things that you've been wanting to but haven't, join in. And Sarah can tell you what are on hers now.
Okay. So I only picked out 12.
Did you try pictures?
Yeah, I'm going to try and show you
She was
pictures.
smart.
I didn't say pictures of all of them. So it's actually not even saved pictures. It's just on my Ravelry. So the very first one is the Solaris shawl, and it's by Melanie Berg. And
Melanie Berg.
I've
been looking at this one.
I have realized that Melanie Berg actually shows up on my list a lot. But I don't know if I can turn down the glare on my phone very easily. But if you can see that, it's really pretty. It has a couple different colors on there. Let's see if I can turn down the lighting on this so you can see it a little bit better. It looks like there's some eyelets and some color work a little bit on the end, and it's really, really big. Actually, I won't show the whole thing, but it's really big. So I want to make that. It calls for fingering weight, 961 yards of fingering weight. So 2 huge skeins.
Yeah.
Minimum, because there's other colors in there too. So I'm really looking forward to that one. The next one.
This one must make my list.
Is the oatmeal pullover. Oh, that doesn't work out very well. There we go. The oatmeal pullover. I have been looking at this forever. This is by Jane Richmond. It takes bulky yarn, somewhere between 459 and 766 yards. And I have this green bulky yarn that we dyed forever ago, and I think I'm going to make myself a green bulky sweater. So that one is very exciting for me. The next thing on my list is by Thea Coleman, and it's the Shaken or Stirred sweater. Let's see if I can find it on here. This sweater I've also been kind of wanting to knit for a really long time.
We have 3 of the same designers on our knitting bucket list.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love Thea Coleman. It takes sport weight yarn. It's ranges between 1,250 and 1,800 yards. Of course, I'm not finding it now. It was on here a while ago. Okay. Forget that. The next, number 4, I cannot pronounce to save my life.
Drachenfels?
It's either Drachenfels or Drachenfels shawl. It's also by Melanie Berg. It takes 967 yards of sport weight yarn.
It's a lot of sport weight.
Yes. I also want to make the Sun Bleached. It's a sweater by Alicia Plummer. And I love Alicia Plummer. I've knit a few of her patterns before and have thoroughly enjoyed them. It takes a very light fingering weight yarn, 935 to about 1,500 yards. It's a very thin summer sweater, just kind of like a little pullover. I want to knit the Antler sweater by Ankestrup.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It takes fingering weight yarn, 1,137 yards up to 1,761 yards. It's actually not a terrible amount for a fingering weight full sweater, not just a cardigan. I want to knit the Tau sweater by Melanie Berg. Like I said, there's a theme.
Miss Melanie's going to get some love from Sarah this year.
Yes, it's fingering weight, anywhere between 1,200 and 1,950 yards. I want to make as well, number 8 is my, on my list, is the Lady Sunside sweater by Tanis Lavala. It's a worsted weight sweater. It takes between 950 to 1,850 yards. Number 9 is the Summer Festival sweater by Georgie Hallam. This sweater I found last 2 years ago, and it made me so happy. I need to knit this. It's a yellow sweater, and granted, I realize that you don't have to knit it yellow, but it has these little flowers, details along the side of it, and I have to knit it, and I have to knit it in yellow. I will find yellow yarn so I can make, there it is, so I can make the summer, oh, of course, really, really, really.
Can you turn it
I already have it all, oh, I got it.
it went back up.
There it is. Okay, there it is.
That is so much fun.
I love it. I've been wanting to knit it forever. So Summer Festival, it's a sweater. It takes sport weight yarn, 1420 to 2450. The next one is the Back Shore. It's a sweater. It's also by Alicia Plummer. DK weight yarn this time though. And I want to make the Arctic Wrap. It's a shawl.
I've had that in my queue forever.
Oh my gosh. It's by Pearl Soho. I've been wanting to knit this forever too. I think it would be a lot of fun. And then the last one on my list, I'm super excited about because it's actually going to be the very first one that I do. It's the Roads of Corsica. It's a shawl by Gabriella Vezina. It's fingering weight between 400 and 900 yards, and I just ordered yarn for this shawl, and it just came in the mail today. So I will show you guys that in a little bit. But those are my 12. I'm super excited. I've got some
sweaters going on and some
shawls
going on.
sweaters.
I'm surprised there are no socks on your list.
There are no socks on my list because it's not a bucket list thing for me. Because
Yeah.
I always knit socks.
Yeah,
so
I guess that's true.
I picked things that I don't gravitate towards knitting on a regular basis. So I always seem to knit hats. I always have socks on the needles. I occasionally do shawls. And I rarely do sweaters.
Yeah.
So I stuck with things that I never...
See, I do a lot of
knit.
hats and shawls too, but there's so many shawls that I've wanted to knit for the longest time that I just haven't. So that's why I added those. And sweaters are kind of my thing I want to do this year for sure.
I do. I really want to work harder on having a handmade wardrobe. I'm not a sewer, so I can't make my own clothes. But I do love the idea of being able to make some of the items that I wear. I wear all of my socks. I don't always wear them out of the house every day, especially when I'm wearing my ballet flats. Which my husband totally gave me havoc for that today. It's like icy and cold and barefoot.
I'm the same way though, I do it too.
I like my toes to grip the ground. It's weird, but I like that feeling. So, but yeah, I wear my socks all of the time. I'm constantly wearing my hats. I don't wear my shawls nearly as much as I used to, because when I first started knitting, I was definitely more of a shawl knitter. And I went through a lot of shawls, but yeah, I really want to have handmade stuff.
Yeah.
In my wardrobe.
Yes, me too.
So.
I have one more thing to show.
Okay.
That's part of our design thing.
Yeah, I skipped over that section.
Yeah, you have yours too, though, don't you? Did you bring it?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay.
The one that I'm going to show.
Yeah. So Sarah and I realized that a lot of the stuff that we knit is design stuff, and so we don't always get to show you guys those things. But we thought it would be fun to still include that, but have it kind of be its own little segment of stuff. So I am currently knitting. I haven't decided if they're going to be mittens, gloves, or fingerless mittens. Don't know yet. I've done the cuff. So I am knitting these with this month's book club colorway, which is the Christmas with the March Sisters, and I am absolutely loving it. So this is the back side. So far you guys can see it. And I am knitting these on my Higher Sharps US size 5. And I'm enjoying it so far. So you guys will get to see these at some point. I don't know when. And they are in my new Silver Shed Christmas bag, which I showed last week. Okay. Joel said he liked it too. So
I did.
I hadn't gone any further because I couldn't decide whether or not I liked the front, and I wanted Sarah's opinion. So
I like it.
she just gave me the go ahead.
I
So
think you should keep
that's
going.
2 people now that have said they like it. So I will keep going. It's all tangled around my handle. So.
Okay. It's funny that our design studio section is both mittens today of some sort, or something for your hands anyways. My project is being housed in my hook and gauge mustache bag. I love the inside. The Argyle socks.
Yeah.
Is what it totally reminds me of. It's very gentlemanly. And you guys have seen this on Instagram, but I am knitting a pair of mittens as well. And I'm paused for a moment because I'm constructing them just a little bit differently, but I have one mitten almost ready for a thumb. And the very first picture that I showed you guys, I knit it, I started out with the cuff, and I realized I didn't want to knit it from the cuff down. I actually wanted to knit it from the top down, and I started out and I pulled it out like 4 different times to get the perfect top. But I think I have it figured out now, and I love this colorway. I am using the Glinda colorway from our Met collection forever and ever ago, and that, I don't even know if you can see it, but there's like this very subtle peachy color that comes through, and it has a very silvery gray, and it has a very light pastel blue, and a little bit darker blue, the navy. but it's not like a saturated navy. It's like more of a denim.
Mm.
It's perfect. So I've got this guy going. I'm super excited about it. I think I'm going to be writing this for 2 different average sizes. This one being the larger size, and so it's hard because I actually have pretty small hands, so it looks huge mungus on me. But I think it would be the perfect
Fits me good though.
perfect size.
I really love it.
So yeah. Isn't that funny?
Mm.
So I'm very happy with it so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping to have this done by Christmas. And it's not a Christmas present for anybody, but I kind of really want to wear them for myself at Christmas time. Like, this will be my thing. So that is my design studio project at the moment.
Very nice.
Yes. Loves it.
It is kind of funny that we're both designing mittens. Or
Yes.
something for your hands, like you said.
So yeah, the next segment would normally be the knit along with us, and because we are both knitting along with Daniela and Allie of the Caffeinated Knitting podcast, if you guys also want to join in, you just have to be a member of their group to do so, and it just has to contain, your yarn has to be holiday inspired.
Or something that makes you happy, I think is what it's.
Yeah. So anything works, and it's the cowl.
The Cowl Me pattern by Amy Coffey. And it's CAWL.
Yes.
Cowl Me.
Cowl Me. So yeah, you should totally join in.
Yes, yes.
You have, I think, through December, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for you on that one?
Nope.
So mailbox madness.
I sadly don't have anything I ordered is in here yet.
I received my yarn.
Oh, it's so pretty.
The tracking information said that it wasn't going to be here today. It was going to be here tomorrow, and so I wasn't anticipating it, and then I went into the mailbox, and it was there. So I did kind of like a little bit of a happy dance. And Diane from the Suburban Stitcher podcast, her and I both commented on this particular skein of yarn, and I said, I need that skein of yarn. And she's like, not if I don't get it first, or if I get it first, or something like that. And so we both went on there, and on Thanksgiving Day, and we ordered each of us a skein of Dana of Unwine Yarn Company's Honeymoon Sock in the Trunkless Elephants colorway.
I love this colorway. I've loved it since I saw it knit up on one of Allie's patterns.
Oh, I've been wanting this forever. Yeah, it's 100% superwash merino, 430 yards. And while I know that you're not supposed to knit socks with just 100% merino because they're not very durable that way, this is going to be socks for me. I need this to be socks for me.
Very pretty.
I need sweet, pretty, girly socks for me. And then I might need a sweaters quantity because one of my sweaters need to be a part of it.
Oh, it smells so good.
So that is what that is. Then
Dana, it smells lovely.
it's this.
Is it the, yeah?
It's when you order 2 or more skeins of yarn from her, she includes
The little lavenders.
this lavender sachet, and it smells lovely. I don't know if she has this lavender and grows it herself. It's beautiful. It smells so good. So I've had it by that. But also in my package, or a couple days later, I ordered from another update from the Cyber Monday sale. Because I had a specific pattern in mind that I wanted to do. And it was the last one that I was telling you about. It's, so I don't botch the name of it, Roads of Corsica Shawl by Gabrielle Vizina. And it takes 400 to 900 yards of fingering weight yarn. And so when I looked at the pattern, I realized I didn't want to just make the small version. I really needed to knit the larger version. And it says between 400 and 900 yards. So I am 100 yards shy, so I will have to bind off just a little shy of what the largest size calls for. But I got 2 more skeins from Dana. This is the Mount Crumpet colorway in her Journey sock base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards a piece. So that is going to be that shawl. And I am so excited to cast it on. And it goes back to the neutral thing. I've been wanting neutrals. And this is not like a total neutral, but it's a neutral.
Right.
It has those pops of pinks and browns, and I've kind of been in a pink kick lately. I've been wanting more pink in my life. So, yeah, Dana, you did awesome. They're beautiful. So,
yes, very, very
my
pretty.
mailbox madness.
It's nice.
It's fun. Oh, and I got this little stitch marker.
It's pink.
It's a pink stitch marker.
Cute.
Like a little pink jewel tone. It's cute. So, that is all of my mailbox madness. But there's a lot of madness that happened in my mailbox.
It's cool. I like it.
Spending
I know there was a skein I wanted from Dana, but when I went back, it was gone. It was a gray with pops of colors in it. It was pretty cool. I don't remember what it was called.
It's like Nebula or something like that, right?
No.
No, not that
I
one.
don't remember what the name of it was. But it wasn't that one. That wasn't it. But next week I will have mailbox things because we did order stuff. It's on its way.
Some Dana yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, next segment. Knitting 101.
Yes, knitting 101. Yes, yes.
We were talking about including more knitting related content in our podcast. That is also has a fun side to it at times, but answers questions or anything like that. So, Lydia came up with this great idea of coming up with 101 questions
That are all knitting related.
that are all knitting related, and we will slowly make our way through it as the podcast goes along. And then, of course, when we run through 101 questions, we'll have to revisit that idea.
Yeah.
And it'll be like knitting 102 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so we decided the easiest way to do it would be for me to come up with 51 questions and for Sarah to come up with 50 and to just
We're just going to go down the
go down.
list.
Yeah. So why don't you read your first one and we'll answer it.
Okay, so my questions are very simplistic, I think. My first question is, what is your favorite cast-on for toe-up socks? Judy's Magic cast-on or Turkish cast-on? And why?
You know, so when I first started, I did the Judy's Magic cast-on, and I liked that one. But I thought it was slightly fiddly. So when Sarah started doing the Turkish one, I did that, which is, I think, easier, in my opinion. But after doing it, you're going to probably stab me with your needles for saying this, I don't like the little bump
On the ends.
that it leaves. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, the ones on the ends.
So I've gone back to doing Judy's. I prefer Judy's.
For
And
me...
I found a different way of doing it than
Oh.
what we did before.
Really, I'll have to see. I would like to see.
Yeah.
So for me, I also started out with Judy's, but all of the videos that I watched for Judy's were really confusing. And while I loved the finished product that they always gave, it was something that I really had to concentrate on. And I don't, you guys know me, I don't like to really have to concentrate on it. I just want to cast on and go. So I always do the Turkish cast on, but I have figured out how to pull my yarn tight enough so I don't get those little bumps.
Okay then.
But I do like Jenny's or Judy's Magic cast on as well.
Yeah.
And I think that I think for, I don't want to say beginner knitters, but if you're not used to doing toe-up socks, I think Judy's is a better option because a lot of times you can't get it tight enough.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And the Turkish cast-on can tend to be loose.
Yes, it can be. I've had to rip out mine several times because it's too loose.
Yeah. So, yeah. I do want to, at some point, attempt a round toe.
Me too. It's very intriguing. I've seen several and I do like the way they look. And I think for me, I might like them better because I have really white feet. And I always think it looks kind of funny. Like when I was making my husband's socks, I made the toe much wider than what you normally would. And I've made a couple of pairs of my socks that way where I make the toe wider because I have white feet. And I think it looks funny when you have just a little pointy piece at the top.
Who is it? Is it Chris from Innis Knit? I think she does a rounded toe, but I think that she always does cuff down socks, so maybe it's easier to do a rounded toe.
Maybe.
Cuff down.
You think?
I think you decrease like you do a hat. But I'm curious about the toe up cuff or toe up rounded toe.
I don't know.
So
that might have to be something we try.
Yeah.
Okay. My first one says, what project was the most challenging or took you most out of your comfort zone of all the ones you've made?
Ever. What is the name of it? My samovar shawl for me. Camp Loopy. My very first year of Camp Loopy. I went so far out of my comfort zone on every project I did. Samovar, I think that's what it's called. I'm looking it up right now. But you had to knit with 2 different colors. One was a variegated, one was a semi-solid. I had never done lace ever in my life, and the entire shawl is all lace. And not to mention that one of my children ripped my needles out halfway through, and I had to lay it on the ground and pick up the needles, and I was beside myself. I did not know if I could do it. So for me, that was the biggest one that took me outside of my comfort zone. Because I'd never done lace before. I'd never knit a project that was that big. It used up both skeins entirely. Here it is. Yeah, Samovar shawl for Camp Loopy, project number 1. It was my very first project. And it was huge. So there's my daughter when she was teeny tiny modeling it for me. It looks like a blanket. It won't get any bigger. But all of the lace that happened on it, I love, and I still love this shawl. It is probably one of the warmest shawls that I own, and it's funny because it's more of a blanket than I feel like a shawl. It's a Samovar by Alison Janoka, and it took 760 yards of fingering weight yarn. And that was probably the project that first took me outside of my comfort zone. I cannot seem to... She published this with 3 Irish Girls. That picture kind of shows some of the lace. So,
Very nice.
yeah, that would be mine.
I think I have 2 because both were like firsts for me. So it was my, let's see, it was my 1, 2, 3. This was my 4th pattern ever knit. because Sarah taught me how to knit. And we did hats. And then I made a shawl for my mom for Christmas. And then I got talked into making a sweater for my son. And not only did I make a sweater for my son, I made a pullover sweater. So I'm knitting in the round. It had sleeves. It had pockets. And it had a hood that had to be Kitchenered.
And provisionally cast on.
Yes, and provisionally cast on. So I made this sleuthing hoodie for my son, Noah.
Kind of good.
Yes. Which I love. But I will show you the picture. It's kind of funny. So I actually didn't end up putting a pocket in mine because I messed mine up slightly. She laughs because she knows. So I have to turn them. I don't know if I can. So here's the little sweater for my son. Now, this band right here in the middle on the body and then over here on the sleeves was where the sweater originally stopped. Because when reading the pattern, that's where the pocket was supposed to go, and I somehow didn't read the pattern right, and I thought that's where you were supposed to start ending the sweater. So I put it on my son, who is teeny tiny, by the way, and it like came to his like rib area, and my mom and I are dying laughing because I put it on and he's just teeny and the sweater is too small and the sleeves are too short, and so I'm crying. I'm calling Karen. I'm like, I don't want to rip it out, because at this point I had never ripped anything out. And so she's like, okay. She's like, we'll just take out the bottom row and then you can just keep going and it'll just kind of look like it was a design element. Which worked. It was kind of a funny story, but it was really cute. It looked cute on him, but it was one of those like, I have to get better at this reading the pattern thing or this is not going to be good. So that one definitely took me out of my comfort zone, and I remember sitting on the couch at her house. She's like, okay, when you Kitchener the hood, like it has to be very quiet, nobody can be around you. So she gave me a glass of wine, and she gives me notes on how to do the Kitchener stitch, and she took everybody outside, and I sat on her couch, and I'm like repeating it to myself, doing it one at a time. And I think I even still got part of it wrong, and so I'm like, Sarah, it's not right. And so she came in and we fixed that, but yeah, that project was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And then my second one was for Camp Loopy. I think it was year 2. I didn't do the first year. So I made my very first ever pair of socks. And because Sarah wanted me to learn all the different things for socks, you know, the toe, the gusset, the heel increase and everything.
I'm such a mean person.
No, you're not. But it helped because now I understand the anatomy of a sock. Like she had a point. She knew what she was doing. But I knit the TDTU Vanilla Socks by Rachel Rowe, out of 3 Irish girls, Bonnie and Blythe colorway, and I loved them. But this is kind of when
bruised socks.
They are. This is kind of when we noticed that I have like weird sock happenings, and it happens on almost every single pair of my socks, you guys. I have one that will knit up just fine, and I have another that will knit up completely crazy. And it happened on the Bonnie and Blythe. So one, if you notice, has beautiful stripes, and then one just has this weird pool of color. My gauge is not any different. They're knit exactly the same way. That was interesting.
It looks like your foot's bruised.
But I had never done this, so I had never cast on toe-up socks. I had never made socks. I had never done a heel. For this one, you do the heel where you have to pick up stitches.
You do a heel flap.
Yeah, heel flap.
But it's weird. You do a toe-up heel flap, which is very normal.
And it was hard. It was very hard. Again, I had just barely started knitting, hadn't knit too many things yet. Didn't want to have to rip something out. And Sarah did it. I'll never forget. I'm sitting there and she's like, okay, well, we have to rip this part out because it's not right. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? We can't just go back? And she's like, no. So she's holding my sock and she just took my needles right out of it. And I'm like, and she's like, it's okay, I'll fix it. She just starts ripping rows out of my sock. And I'm like, you're making me so nervous right now. But she fixed it and I got back on track and it was fine. And I got them all done and I wear them still. But those 2 projects probably cost me the most years of my life ever. Because they were hard on me. And I have to honestly say, and I know being her business partner, it's funny to say that socks are probably, they're just not my go-to project. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy them, but not like Sarah. They're her go-to thing.
Yep.
They are not mine.
That's one of my questions down the road.
Mine too. Similar, not exact the same, but so those are my 2 projects that took me most out of my comfort zone and were the most challenging. The sleuthing hoodie and my first ever pair of socks. Yeah.
I still remember that sleuthing hoodie. I remember looking at it and going, well, that's your lifeline.
Uh-huh.
You're like, what do you mean my lifeline?
Oh, and it was hysterical. I somewhere have a picture, because I took a picture of my son in it, and it's like above his belly button, and my mom's like, I don't think that's right. I'm like, no kidding, it's not right. It's too short.
Oh my god.
It was just goofy. I don't know. So, yeah.
That's funny.
But it all worked out. So, and I think I still have it somewhere. And it'll always just be a funny story of how Mommy didn't know how to read patterns. And that was kind of a running joke for a while too, because I swear I screwed something up on every pattern, and Sarah's like, are you reading the patterns? And I'm like, and at one point I'm like, no. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I don't know, you don't, so you never work off of a pattern. I haven't been taught how to work off of a pattern. I'm just like, yeah, just go with it.
That.
No. You taught me how to knit. The woman who rarely follows the pattern.
I know. I think I changed every pattern that we looked at. I'm like, well,
Oh,
that doesn't make any sense.
Every single one. For like the first 10 projects I knit.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Just do this. Okay. So then when I'm trying to actually do the project when she's not around, I have no idea what I'm doing because I'm not doing anything the pattern wants you to do anymore. The stitches are not the same count. Like there's, yeah. So, fortunately, this isn't speaking words to how good of a teacher she really is. I did learn how to knit, and I do enjoy it now, and can knit pretty much anything, but, yeah.
Yeah, I started you off running, like, oh.
Yeah. Here you did a hat, okay, let's do a sweater. Sure, why not?
You can do it.
I did. He did wear it. So.
You wore it for a while.
He did.
It's very funny, though.
Line through the middle and all. So.
Oh, my word.
Yep.